Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, may I kindly inform you that we provide simultaneous interpretation for this webinar, and you might click at the bottom of your screen to choose the language that you prefer. We have simultaneous interpretation of English and Chinese. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Geneva and good afternoon in Hong Kong. 2 years on since the enforcement of the national security law in Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, Hong Kong has ushered in a new period, the period of stability and tranquility, putting to an end chaos and violence in the city after June 2019. The introduction of the improved electoral system in Hong Kong and the subsequent Legislative Council election in December 2021 further consolidated security and stability in which citizens of Hong Kong can better enjoy their human rights and fundamental freedoms. To update the situation on the ground in Hong Kong, since we met last time, the permanent mission of China in Geneva has the honor to host this webinar, The Better, Brighter Future for Hong Kong, where we will invite officials from the Hong Kong SAR government, members of the Legislative Council, and public opinion leaders to share with you their observations and insights on Hong Kong's hard-won security, stability, its promising opportunities, and naturally, the present challenges to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. This guest of honor are, if I may introduce, Mr. Li Kai-chu, Chief Secretary for Administration of the Government of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, the Honorable Holden Cho Ho-din, Member of the Legislative Council of the Hong Kong SAR, and the Honorable Geoffrey Chang Win Yan, Member of the Legislative Council. And we have Mr. Gary Wong Chee Him, Board Member of the Chinese Association of Hong Kong and Macau Studies, Mr. Kevin Lau Chung Han, Council Member of the Hong Kong Federation of Professionals, and finally, Mr. Jason Yan, Associate Director of the Office of the Board, Guotai Junan International Holdings. Now, may I have the great honor to invite His Excellency Ambassador Chen Xu, Permanent Representative of Mission of China to the UN Office at Geneva and other international organizations in Switzerland, to deliver the opening remarks.
可以了吧？等一下。
大家请。
各位嘉宾、各位朋友，欢迎大家参加香港明天更美好主题视频会议。香港是中国南海之滨的一颗璀璨明珠。今天的香港，海晏河清，民众安居乐业。香港回归以来，一国两制、港人治港、高度自治方针得到切实贯彻落实。随着香港国安法的颁布实施和特区选举制度的修改完善，香港迎来了由乱及治、由治及兴的历史性转折。香港居民的各项合法权利在安全环境中得到更好的行使。香港事务纯属中国内政，不容任何外部势力干涉。 任何妄图插手香港事务、破坏香港繁荣稳定的图谋，注定失败。中国人民正在意气风发，向着全面建成社会主义现代化强国的第二个100年奋斗目标迈进，实现中华民族伟大复兴已经进入不可逆转的历史进程。香港必将在建设现代化强国的新征程上有更大的作为。中国中央政府和全国人民高度关注当前香港的疫情，竭尽所能支援香港抗疫。内地援港医疗队已经抵港协助工作，香港居民急需的医疗和生活物资正源源不断运抵香港。我们相信，在中央政府和全国人民的全力支持下，在香港特区政府和各界的共同努力下，香港一定能够战胜疫情。风雨过后见彩虹，香港必将迎来更加美好的明天。谢谢大家。
Thank you, Ambassador. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Li Kai-chu, Chief Secretary for Administration of the Hong Kong SAR Government, to address the webinar. As I said, Mr. Li was appointed Chief Secretary for 2021, and before that, Hong Kong Police Force. He joined the Hong Kong Police Force in 1977 and held a variety of important posts as Assistant Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner and Commissioner. Well, he was responsible for security policies in Hong Kong SAR and the 6 disciplined services departments. Now, Mr. Li, please. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Minister Jiang, for the very kind introduction. Good morning, Ambassador Chen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to talk to you about the situation in Hong Kong. Let me begin by taking you back to more than 2 years ago, to June 2019. It was the darkest time of Hong Kong. Citizens witnessed continuously violent riots across the city. Never before had our streets seen such violence and random assaults. Thousands of petrol bombs being thrown, destruction of public property, and widespread blocking of traffic, let alone the vicious attacks on the police. Forces to incite Hong Kong's independence and foreign interference showed up blatantly. These unprecedented violence and disturbances threatened the security of our city so much that citizens were actually worried about their lives and safety. They were afraid even to talk about these evil acts of terror, lest they might be targeted for retaliation by the perpetrators. Such violence, destruction, and chaos were stopped effectively after the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress promulgated the Hong Kong National Security Law about a year later. The law filled the vacuum in national security because Hong Kong had no dedicated national security law before that. The Hong Kong National Security Law has restored peace and stability. People returned to their day-to-day life in peace and society resumed normal. Hong Kong's economy then staged a strong recovery in the following year. Its GDP grew by 6.4% in 2021. It should be pointed out that in the lead up to and during the 2019 violence, the Legislative Council was also full of scenes of sabotage, physical confrontations, disorderly conduct, and incessant procrastination, with actions to paralyze the council, to obstruct the government's governance, and to deliberately make one country, two systems an unsuccess. You can visualize this from the fact that some of its former members are currently pending trials for offenses endangering national security. No country will allow its legislative structure, Parliament of Congress, to be filled up by treasonous foreign agents or proxies of foreign forces. The Hong Kong electoral system must therefore be protected from exploitation and from foreign interference. The principle of patriots administering Hong Kong was therefore implemented to improve and protect it. Being patriotic is the minimum and common requirement for a person in any country to participate in its administration. Legislators under the improved electoral system are now required to satisfy two basic requirements. They are to bear allegiance to the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and to uphold the basic law. Aren't these two requirements very basic? They're not just basic. They are simply common and natural sense. The improved electoral system also provides much broader and more balanced representation in society. Membership of the Legislative Council is increased from 70 to 90 in number, with a much wider spread across different backgrounds and political spectrum. The subsequent Legislative Council election was successfully held in December 2021 in an open, orderly, and fair manner. All seats were contested. Unlike previously, when seats in some subsectors may automatically be elected because only one candidate was running, a lot of new faces appeared, drawing in talents from a wide range of backgrounds. Now that they will not have to work in the former ridiculous phenomena of mayhem, physical confrontation, insults, and paralysis. The newly elected members have been displaying commitment to serve the interests of Hong Kong wholeheartedly. The quality of scrutiny and debates, as well as the efficiency of the Legislative Council, has significantly improved. In about 2 months,